Do you think of sumo as a combat sport? In truth, its core is closer to a religious ritual than a modern athletic competition. It traces its roots back to ancient Shinto ceremonies where people prayed for good harvests and offered displays of strength to the gods. Because of that origin, Shinto elements are still visible throughout the tradition today. If you look at sumo not just as a sport, but as a sacred practice that reflects Japanese beliefs and spirituality, you'll start to feel its depth in a very different way. Sumo is a world with the Yokozuna at its top. Unlike boxing or judo, it has no weight classes. Every wrestler competes in the same open weight field. The rules are very simple. You lose if any part of your body touches the ground before your opponent does, or if you step outside the ring. A wrestler's rank is shown on the banzuke, the official ranking sheet. Wrestlers are listed on the east and west sides, and even within the same rank, being placed on the east side indicates a higher position. The banzuke is updated 6 times a year, and it's common to see promoted wrestlers holding the new ranking sheet at a press conference. The size of the characters printed next to their names is considered a symbol of their success. Official tournaments, known as honbasho, are held 6 times a year: January, March, May, July, September, and November. Each tournament runs for 15 days. If a wrestler finishes with 8 wins or more, he earns a kachikoshi and moves up in rank at the next tournament. 7 wins or fewer count as a makikoshi, which results in a demotion. Missing matches because of injury or illness is treated the same as a losing record. When a wrestler posts a winning record at the top of his division, he can advance to the next level. And if he continues to win in makuuchi, the highest division, he may eventually be promoted to Yokozuna. How many professional wrestlers do you think there are? As of November 2025, 598 wrestlers belong to the Japan Sumo Association. When sumo was held in London in October 2025, only top division wrestlers were sent. This reflects how the public usually sees only a small group of elite athletes, while many young, lesser-known wrestlers compete below them. To enter the world of sumo, applicants must pass the Shindeshi examination, held 6 times a year. The peak came in 1992, when 160 people applied, at a time when the sport's popularity had become a full-blown social phenomenon. That boom was driven by 2 brothers. In 1988, the sons of a famous wrestler entered the sport together, drawing enormous attention. It wasn't just that both were children of a star. Both eventually rose to the rank of Yokozuna, becoming the first pair of Yokozuna brothers in history and pushing sumo's popularity to new heights. At the time, some applicants even inserted silicone into their scalps to appear taller and meet the height requirement of 173 centimeters. In recent years, however, the number of applicants has dropped sharply due to declining birth rates and the availability of many other sports. In the spring of 2025, only 27 people applied, the lowest number ever. Today, the association continues to loosen various requirements in an effort to broaden the pool of potential wrestlers. In sports like soccer or baseball, it's common to see the sons of famous players follow the same path. In sumo, however, that's extremely rare. Until around the 1980s, most wrestlers entered the sport right after junior high school. In recent years, though, more recruits come from high schools and universities, and roughly half of the top division wrestlers are now college graduates. Young men enter sumo for many different reasons. Some choose the path because they want to make use of their size, while others are encouraged by parents who are passionate fans and hope their sons will become wrestlers. Japan has about 4,500 high schools, yet only around 140 have sumo clubs. At the university level, only a few dozen schools offer the sport, so despite being called a national tradition, sumo actually has a fairly narrow base. And among universities, only a handful provide strong training environments, which is why many college-born wrestlers tend to come from the same few schools. There is also a system that allows successful amateur wrestlers, those who place highly at the national amateur championships or intercollegiate tournaments, to start their professional careers in higher divisions such as sandanme or makushita. Although each rank comes with detailed rules, here are the basic differences. Inside the stable, wrestlers can dress freely, but once they step outside, their attire must match their rank. The higher the rank, the more formal the clothing. Footwear is also regulated, so you can tell a wrestler's status just by looking at what he wears. Hairstyles differ as well. From sandan-mei upward, they may wear a maga topknot, and sekitori are permitted to style it into the more elaborate oicho. Wrestlers in the top division, makuuchi, each have personal attendants. In the training ring, rank can be identified by the color of the mawashi. White indicates a sekitori, while those below makushita wear black. In official matches, sekitori can use colorful mawashi, but lower-ranked wrestlers must compete in the same black ones they wear during training. Wrestlers receive a monthly salary only after reaching the sekitori ranks. Once they make makuuchi, they also earn prize money and bonuses. Monthly base pay is fixed by rank, with Yokozuna earning 3 million yen. Wrestlers below sekitori receive no salary. Instead, they get allowances for each of the 6 annual tournaments and a small payment, only a few thousand yen, for each win. Their yearly income generally ranges from 500,000 yen to 1 million yen. Prize money goes to the winner of a bout. Matches featuring popular wrestlers or highly anticipated pairings tend to attract more sponsor banners. Each banner is worth 70,000 yen, the winner receives 60,000 yen, and the remaining 10,000 yen goes to the Sumo Association. Bonuses are long-term rewards that accumulate based on achievements. Every wrestler whose name appears on the banzuke receives an additional 3 yen in bonus points. Each win adds 0.5 yen, a championship in Makuuchi adds 30 yen, and so on. The total amount accumulated is multiplied by 4,000 and paid out at each tournament. For example, former Yokozuna Hakuho had accumulated 2,187 yen in bonus points, which meant he received 2,187 times 4,000 equals 8,748,000 yen 6 times a year. However, wrestlers cannot collect these bonuses unless they reach the Makuuchi division.
Travel trivia, the world of the gyoji. Even the gyoji, the referees who decide the outcome of a match, have their own hierarchy. There are currently about 40 of them, and at the top is Kimura Shonosuke. He appears only for the final bout of the day, the most prestigious match. Second in rank is Shikimori Inosuke. Both titles are hereditary stage names passed down through generations, so each man also has a separate real name. Only these two carry a dagger in their belts, a tradition that dates back to the era when referees were samurai. It is often said that the dagger symbolized their readiness to take responsibility, even with their own lives, if they made a grave mistake in judgment. Another important duty of the gyoji is preparing the banzuke, the official ranking sheet. It is rewritten 6 times a year, and because it uses a calligraphic style unique to the sumo world, referees devote extensive practice to mastering these characters.
Every wrestler belongs to one of the 45 sumo stables and lives communally under the guidance of a stable master, known as an oyakata. A typical day looks like this. Practice begins with the lower-ranked wrestlers, and the higher ranks join later. Building flexibility to prevent injuries and maintaining a low center of gravity so they aren't easily pushed out of the ring are fundamental skills. Wrestlers bathe in order of rank, with the highest ranked entering first. Meals are also taken by rank. Wrestlers generally eat twice a day, and lunch usually consists of a hot pot dish. Afternoon naps are considered essential for building size and strength. Lower-ranked wrestlers typically sleep together in a large dormitory-style room, while higher ranks receive private quarters as they move up. In this way, hierarchy shapes nearly every aspect of daily life in a sumo stable. Outside the 6 official tournaments held each year, wrestlers don't just train inside their stables, they also travel around the country for promotional events. In 2025, events were held at 23 locations in April and 24 in August, with additional dates planned for autumn and winter. At these events, visitors can take photos with wrestlers and watch their training up close. For young wrestlers living away from home, an oyakata is almost like a parent. Beyond training their wrestlers to become stronger, recruiting new talent is also a key part of their role. At tournaments, the oyakata are the ones seated around the ring. When there is a dispute about a referee's decision, they join the deliberation as judges. To run a stable, one must become an oyakata, but only wrestlers with strong enough career achievements are eligible. Whether someone can establish a new stable or must inherit an existing one also depends on their accomplishments during their active years. The number of oyakata is capped at 105, so if all positions are filled, even qualified former wrestlers cannot take the role. There is one exception. Any wrestler who wins the top division championship 20 times or more can become an oyakata regardless of the quota. Wrestlers in the Sekitori ranks wear ornate kesho mawashi during the ring entering ceremony each day. These ceremonial aprons weigh about 8 kilograms and are decorated with elaborate embroidery. The motifs vary, but the designs generally follow several common themes. Designs related to the wrestler's hometown, the name or emblem of his school, products or characters from sponsor companies, characters from manga or anime. A wrestler's name in the ring is called a shikona. It serves as a second identity and often carries meaning, honoring a stable master's tradition, representing the pride of one's hometown, or expressing personal ideals. Many lower-ranked wrestlers use their family names as their shikona, but they usually adopt a new one as they rise through the ranks. Most wrestlers take one or more characters from their stable master's former shikona. For example, if the stable master once competed under the name Takanohana, his disciple might be named Taka Keisho. Because of this, you can often guess which stable a wrestler belongs to just by looking at his shikona. Some ring names also use place names from the wrestler's hometown. A small number of top division wrestlers keep their family names as their shikona, but they are the exception. The Yokozuna holds a unique and distinguished place in the world of sumo. During each of the 6 annual tournaments, only wrestlers of this rank perform the ring entering ceremony every day. As of November 2025, there are 2 Yokozuna, but if no wrestler meets the promotion criteria, the position can remain vacant. Unlike all other ranks, a Yokozuna is never demoted once promoted. However, a weak Yokozuna is not accepted, and continuing to lose traditionally leads to retirement. There are no fixed rules for when to retire. The decision is made by sensing the atmosphere around them and public sentiment. In this sense, it reflects a distinctly Japanese cultural value, reading the room. At the beginning of this video, we said that continuing to win in the top division can lead to promotion to Yokozuna. In reality, the decision often becomes a topic of debate. The basic requirement is 2 consecutive championships as an ozeki, or results equivalent to that level. This phrase, results equivalent to a championship, is intentionally vague, allowing for flexibility, but because the standard shifts depending on the situation, it frequently invites discussion. For example, if an ozeki earns around 12 wins in 2 straight tournaments, that is typically considered championship-level performance. However, if several Yokozuna are already active, the promotion might be postponed. On the other hand, in a period with no Yokozuna, the same record could be seen as enough to justify promotion. The presence of a Yokozuna is important for the sport as a whole. Another reason for debate is the additional requirement that the candidate must demonstrate outstanding dignity and ability. Because of this, even back-to-back championships do not guarantee promotion. Dignity refers to qualities that appear in manners, speech, education, and behavior, human qualities that cannot be measured numerically. In the past, a foreign ozeki posted strong results for consecutive tournaments but was not promoted. Before each bout, he stared down his opponents as a show of fighting spirit, but some viewed it as disrespectful, suggesting he lacked dignity. This case illustrates that sumo is not a sport concerned solely with winning. For the Yokozuna, who stands as the symbol of the entire sumo world, strength alone is not enough. A spiritual and moral presence is also expected. A Yokozuna is both a champion and an embodiment of an ideal Japanese figure, carrying a sacred role that goes beyond athletic achievement. Once the Yokozuna Deliberation Council recommends a candidate and the Japan Sumo Association approves it, the promotion becomes official. A representative from the association then visits the stable to deliver the news in a formal ceremony. This is not just an announcement, it is a ritual in which the wrestler receives a sacred mission. From that moment, he shifts from being simply the strongest to becoming the most revered figure in sumo. Those who win consistently are the most popular, especially wrestlers who stay at the top as Yokozuna or Ozeki. Naturally, handsome wrestlers attract a lot of attention. These are some of the wrestlers often considered good-looking in the sumo world. What do you think? Since many wrestlers are quiet in everyday life, those who speak in a bright, humorous way during interviews tend to be especially well-liked. Smaller wrestlers. In a sport dominated by large bodies, smaller wrestlers often draw strong support. They rely on speed and a wide range of techniques to overcome size disadvantages, which makes their matches particularly exciting. Wrestlers belonging to a stable run by a former star also receive loud cheers from the crowd. Ryogoku Kokugi-kan is considered the sacred home of sumo, but the ring isn't there year-round. After each 15-day tournament ends, the dohyo is dismantled, and the arena is used for concerts, pro wrestling, and other events. Before the next tournament begins, a new ring is built through a Shinto ritual. This ceremony was even performed during the sumo event held in London. The roof suspended above the ring is modeled after a Shinto shrine pavilion, symbolizing that the dohyo is a sacred space. The stomping motion known as shiko, where wrestlers lift and drive their legs into the ground, comes from a Shinto belief in pacifying evil spirits. Throwing salt before a bout purifies the area, and bringing both hands together is the same gesture made when praying at a shrine. The thick rope worn on a Yokozuna's ceremonial apron resembles a shrine's shimenawa, marking the boundary between the sacred and the everyday world. As performers offering their strength to the gods on a sacred stage, wrestlers inherit many Shinto-based practices. At the same time, women are still prohibited from entering the ring. This rule is said to originate from old Shinto notions that blood associated with childbirth and menstruation was impure. A few years ago, during a regional tour in Kyoto, a mayor collapsed on the dohyo, and when female nurses rushed in to help, an announcement ordered them to please step off the ring, which sparked widespread controversy. The incident highlighted the ongoing tension within sumo as it struggles to balance long-standing tradition with modern values. Ozeki Takakeisho, who retired recently, saw his body change dramatically within just a few months. During his active career, he forced himself to eat large amounts to maintain his size. But once that pressure disappeared, he naturally lost weight. Body size is a major asset for a wrestler, but it also places heavy strain on the organs and joints. The impact when two large wrestlers collide is said to reach 1 ton, which is why many top division wrestlers suffer chronic injuries and typically retire in their early 30s. For lower-ranked wrestlers whose income is unstable, careers tend to be even shorter. Most retire without ever drawing public attention. Some young wrestlers quit shortly after entering a stable because they cannot endure the strict environment while living away from home. On the other hand, a small number of wrestlers receive a grand retirement ceremony. In this ritual, supporters and associates cut small portions of the wrestler's top knot, with the final cut made by his stable master. But only those with significant popularity and achievements are given such an honor. Even here, the issue of women being barred from the dohyo remains. A wrestler's own mother is not allowed to stand on the ring, so when she participates, she must make her cut from below the platform.